Hello.
Hey guys. Don't mind us. We're just consciously breathing.
You just dove into the time of Abby and Josh. We were conscious breathing, a form of meditative state. Meditative state being the alignment of the body and mind to conjure physical and mental, conscious and subconscious. We were thinking and we were discussing how we wanted to go about this video, how we wanted to make this video kind of tie and stand apart from all the other videos that we've had. We've talked about awareness, we've talked a lot about consciousness, we've talked about reality and perception and the control of what we have, the control that we lack. And to kind of tie it all together,
To try and tie it all together. It's kind of like trying to define consciousness, trying to define enlightenment. So, Abby, what would your definition of enlightenment be? The thought that everything is kind of coming together or making sense.
Coming together.
All questions that I've had kind of start unfolding into these answers. It starts making sense.
So what are these questions to you? And how do you answer them?
Questions like, what is consciousness? What is this? What is my purpose
What is this?
here?
What is all of this? Why are we separated from the animals?
Well, from the animals have a consciousness, right? They have
Yeah.
conscious, but it is different from what we have. They have a conscience which they understand, and they understand within each other. They can connect and communicate within each other, but we don't understand it. Just like we have a consciousness that we can understand, but they don't understand.
We have a deep, deep consciousness that I think is one of two big puzzle pieces. One being the physical state, our body. The other being the mental state, our mind, our consciousness, our subconsciousness. And they theorize that the subconscious is about 30,000 times stronger than the consciousness. Don't quote me on that. Something like that. Immense strength in comparison to. Now, I think what separates us in to try to look back in a historical way, us as humans at first in our existence, we were colonizing, we were trying to survive. And then we did.
Just like animals are doing.
Just like animals. But then we did survive. And we, instead of worrying about putting food in our mouth, we started asking these questions.
What is this?
What is this? Why are we here?
How is this fire burning right now?
Yeah.
So in doing so, they started to figure it out in measurements. They used measurements to figure it out. They looked into how is this fire burning. They looked into what is in an atom, and they could get all of that. They could figure it out, and you can find that on the internet or in textbooks. But that is the physical state of things.
In a measurement form.
In a measurement form. And so you can't really measure your consciousness in a measurement.
It'd be like trying to chase a phantom, trying to grab air. So,
Trying to hold water.
Finding one side of that puzzle piece of our physical form, it's in the same sense of saying that we don't inhabit a body. Body inhabits us. We don't have a soul. We are the soul. It is around us.
People say that the soul's inside of you, but it's around you. It's everywhere. It's here.
You know when people say like concentrate, and you kind of like squint, and you're like, it's as if you're trying to activate your brain like it's a muscle.
Brain's not a muscle.
Brain's not a muscle, and so it's not conditioned to be under stress. In fact, that they theorize, and I think that they've proven that putting your brain at ease is going to allow you to see and concentrate more. And so
letting it do what it was meant to do.
And so to find that alignment between the physical and the spiritual, the physical and the mental standpoint of what makes us us, is what we have yet to determine. We had scientists that found the measurement and physical answers, and then we had people like Alan Watts, the thinkers, the people that instead of turned it into a scientific form, really thought and sought out those answers. And what we've come to realize is these answers of why am I here, specifically me, specifically you, specifically us, I think that those answers come from within. And
That's not an answer you can find in a textbook somewhere.
Yeah. And finding that alignment between the body and the mind, and to understand how similar yet different the body and mind is, the spiritual form and the physical form. That's when you're going to start to find those answers. That's when you're going to start to feel the enlightenment. And having a state of enlightenment in a meditational state, it's like being reborn. You start to see things in a different text, in a different context.
I lost the word. In a different filter.
Yeah.
In a different way. You start to see things like things that you'd see every day, but you really look at it and you can really see it and appreciate it for its life.
So, one example is conscious breathing. You fill your lungs with oxygen and you dive into your own consciousness and try to find these answers. And some answers, or the answers to some questions might not be answers.
They're not meant to have answers.
Some answers only you can determine.
You can't go up to somebody and ask them, why am I here? Well, they're not going to have that answer for you. You're not going to find that answer anywhere but inside of you.
We talked about why we are here and how the future is not yet been written. And so to try to answer those questions, it's like, well, that's ultimately up to you. If you ask, what am I doing? What is my purpose here? Why do I exist? Why is there existence in particular, in any form? I feel like that answer would be, well, it's ultimately up to you because your future has not yet been written. So
you're the one that gets to decide.
You get to decide why you're here. You get to decide what your purpose is.
And that can either be a really scary thing or really exciting.
I think it's exciting.
I think it's very exciting. Like, I get to determine my own life. There's not something already written out there for me. I'm writing it myself. For myself.
So don't confuse measurements with reality, because your reality is yours to have. My reality is mine. And our realities could be different because our perceptions of our own lives can be different. Mm-hmm. And so the answer of why you exist can be different from the answer of why I exist, or why Abby exists, or why your parents, but it's all so beautifully woven together. To find those answers is to find your enlightenment, your own self, your own consciousness. And I'm not trying to make a video of pegging out questions that have no answers. I'm here to tell you that you have the answer. Finding it is up to you. How I found it, I'm still finding it. But a lot of the questions that I had are answered because I dove into my own mind. We have the answers of the physical portion of why we exist. Physically, yeah, I have atoms. I have cells that create an organism, or organs that create an organism. That's me. That's why blood pumps through my body. That's why I digest food. That's why I age. We figured that out. But why do I have these questions? Why am I able to have these questions? Why do I have the intelligence to question what's existence?
Because your consciousness is growing.
And we as humans are growing and evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And so is our minds, and so is our consciousness, and so is the power that is us.
We're beginning to look for answers that we don't know where to find them.
And when it comes to the point where we say, your future is ultimately up to you, then if the future has not yet been written and it is our decision or our power, our control to write our own future, then now's the time to push that new direction, the answers in which you are looking for, to find that enlightenment, to change the world with it.
That's so cool. That kind of gave me goosebumps.
Wow, yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, and to dive into that is, it's the same thing as Om. I mean, to understand Om is to understand everything, because it is everything. Just like you are everything, just like I am everything, just like
All in one.
all in one.
Everything.
And
the universe is inside you.
it's like the flower of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is life. We are life. And we have the power to depict our future. And how amazing is that?
It's pretty amazing. That is such a beautiful thing.
And if we come together as a species to bring forth those answers in which we are looking for, not in measurement, but in a reality state, not to confuse measurement with reality, but to understand reality as what it is. And it is simply this. And so
it can just be that simple.
And it comes into full circle. And so what do we do next? Well, that is up to you. You can either live your life in a negative state or you can live it in a positive one. Only you can decide that. I say we come together as a species and we love. Because why else would we be here other than to experience love? And the opposite and all of it, but to demonstrate forgiveness, demonstrate love, demonstrate what we are, and that is all of this.
To just experience it.
And so the main message that we're giving out:
do not confuse reality with measurements. Because
go ahead.
Because measurements will not give you your answers to your reality.
You give your answers to your reality.
Mm-hmm.
We as humans, I think, have preconditioned ourselves to believe that the answers are to be given to us, that we don't have them.
Just sit around and something will come to you.
Mm-hmm. But I'm here to argue that we do have those answers inside of us. The answer that you have the answer to. Finding it, that's a whole different story. Conscious breathing, meditation, writing, figuring out who you are, what your beliefs are, what make you tick.
And what you can do with your life. You can go so much farther than just the everyday standard, stereotypical, what's the word I'm trying to
game that we call life. Or
you can go so much farther with it.
You can go so much farther with it. Understand your own consciousness. Understand why you are here. And then answer it. And decide what you want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the beautiful thing, is that we have that control over our own life. And so when you look at it in a bigger picture standpoint, what's the point in conflict? What's the point when you look at global issues, national issues, state issues, family issues, and personal issues? When you look at it in a large portion, it really, none of it matters. Because in the large spectrum of things, we are here to experience. We are here to be. And so what do you want to be? Well, that's for you to decide, and then be it.
Do it. Set your mind to something and go for it.
Through your awareness, through your consciousness, through your own version of enlightenment. Who do you want to be? And then be it.
Yeah.
Short and sweet video. Depict this how you wish. But be excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Don't be scared of it.
No.
All right.
Find your own version of enlightenment. And be it. If you like this video, obviously like it, share it, spread to everybody. If you think any of these things that we talked about could help you personally, don't hesitate to get a hold of me or Abby.
Reach out.
Reach out. We can
love
and
doing
would
this.
love
We
to
can
coach
help
you. Exactly. We said the same thing in different words.
Perfect.
Guys, have a great rest of your day, and we love you.